Hey guys, Justin here. First off, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is once again our friends at No Toad Racing League. They are a super established iRacing league full of great racing and great people. They run almost every night of the week for ARCA, Xfinity, Next Gen, and 87 Legends. Usually the races are at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, so good for anyone in the Americas. It's their 20th anniversary, which means they're more established than iRacing itself. Well, if we don't count Papyrus at least. But make sure to look them up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And thanks once again to No Toad Racing for sponsoring this video. Yeah, but oh yeah. Is there even the? Yeah, I guess so.
So like when I go to the 24 almost every year, basically they just run every other light pole.
Huh.
So it's like half light. It's half lit.
Well, they all do have headlights at least.
Yeah. Hell, I mean, Sebring doesn't have lights at all, and they run at night, so it's not really. It's just nice to be able to see the cars. Tell you what, I ran that in real life though. I did 14 hours of Daytona, but I did 12 hours of Sebring, and it was a wet night, well, it was damp by the time my last stint. My last stint was a damp Sebring at night. Nothing but little reflectors, dude. It was awesome.
That's what's fun.
And somehow I ran the fastest laps of our team the whole.
Alright, let's take a look at that. So we're going to start with the run-up lap as per usual, and here, pretty darn straightforward. You can make this work on your second lap here, or sorry, on your first lap here. So as long as you full throttle the top, and you might have to breathe a little. You see I was out of the throttle here. I just had to breathe that out a couple of times. It gets really loose up here, but that kind of told me that you can pretty much get the run that you need for a good qualifying lap from just doing your first lap. So, okay, we get a good run here. So yeah, it will get loose, and you also don't have to go right by the wall here. I didn't like being right by the wall here. You can if you really want to, but I feel like it's just as effective in terms of pure speed to just kind of wrap it on this seam right here, on the second seam from top. And you don't even have to be on the seam, just anywhere in this lane. Whatever can minimize your wheel inputs the most, that'll get the most momentum that possibly can. The reason I don't like going right by the wall is because sometimes you have to use extra wheel to keep it off the wall, and that kind of hurts your momentum. You see, here's a very slight thing, but I don't go down to the white line at the very beginning, right off the corner, because I like making an angle that has me pointing shallow as I hit the start-finish line. Because if you get down to the white too early, you kind of track up the track really early, and you lose maybe 100th or so for free. So that's just a really small thing. So you see here, don't take the apron. I don't like the apron here. So you see I stay on the white for pretty long. And you can stay down here for a while because you're just getting back up to the wall. And then around the 3 you want to start. So you see the, sorry, I'll point that out for you. We come up on the 3 sign right here. If I can see it, there it is. Around the 3 sign, I don't do anything with the pedals, but I start pointing my car back down towards the white line. So I went back and forth. This outside line where you just rip the top at pretty much full throttle, I think it's close. I think that the bottom has more potential though. I was able to get a couple hundredths faster with just a few attempts on the bottom. So I'm fairly confident that the bottom is going to be the faster method. So you see here, if you're going to go bottom though, you have to commit. So you see I'm already turning off the wall at the 3 like I said. And then I'm just pointing myself to be right at the apex. And this is a bit of an early apex, but we can get down there with just a little throttle blip. You see I only go down to about 75% or so. And that helps me not get loose, and it helps me get to the white line. Then once I get to the white line, I back off the throttle. Okay, so once we are at the white line, maybe like marginally above it, so that gives us a little breathing room. But once we get there, we back it off to half. You see right here. And the reason that we back it off to half is because if we were any more than half, we would just go off the white line and lose a lot of our angle. What we want is to cut as much of the corner as possible. So when we get to the bottom, we're going to stay at the bottom. So you see, going to half throttle, I'm staying at the bottom, and now fairly quickly you can start testing the waters back up to full throttle area. But once you go back to full throttle, you are off the white line. That's just kind of how it works. So you see, while I'm in half throttle and a little bit higher, I can stick on the white. And then the moment I go to full, it just comes off the white line. So do not go full throttle until you're ready to slide up to the wall. Because if you do that too early, it's not going to end well. Probably going to end up in the wall. If you can time it perfectly, you carry a decent amount of speed and you just cut a ton of the corner. This is right here, this sector right here, this would probably be about half a tenth to a full tenth at this moment, better than if I rip the top with full throttle. And then by the time we get to the corner, it's probably maybe a couple hundredths to a half a tenth advantage over the top. If you want to just run the top for an easier lap, then by all means, but I think this is going to be a little faster. So 3 and 4, top doesn't work regardless. That's what my opinion. So I think regardless of what you do, you want to go to the bottom on 3 and 4. So you see here, I dive it a little. I'm not going quite as quickly to the white line. I'm taking a bit more of an arc. You see, I'm kind of wanting to get to the white a little bit later. And so I go full throttle, past the green light, then I back it down to a high partial throttle. If I were to stay full throttle here, my car would just kind of want to go straight. This is about the amount of throttle that you can do where the car still kind of wants to go to the bottom. So you see I'm kind of going back and forth on it. You can dive this corner pretty deep. That's why I'm not going to half at all. So you see I never do that's all the way to half. I kind of, once I get to the white line, same idea, but instead of half, it's like 60, 70%. And then I get back on the gas pretty early because as you notice here, we have a pretty wide exit. So like we can see daylight pretty early. Like I commit really early, but I knew at this point that I could make it work on exit. And this is what it's going to take to squeeze out that bit of time. And I probably left a few hundredths on the table for sure. But you can see here, the full throttle is just going to send you up to the wall and you just got to handle it. You just got to wrestle with it. We don't care about our tires or anything, so just commit to the full throttle, keep your rears under you, use your wheel. And then we're going down into the apron to cut, coming to the start-finish line. And we get a pretty decent time. I think there's probably a tenth or so to get on it, but I think this is going to be a good start for you guys. And anyways, I did a long run here too. Let's go take a look at that. All right, let's take a look at the long run here. So I think that you might see some multi-groove action going on, especially with the draft. I know that the top of 1 and 2 is pretty viable, so we'll kind of go back and forth on that. Unfortunately, without the dirty air of the draft here, I'm not going to have a ton of insight on the runs that creates and whatnot, but I know on tracks like this, there's going to be a lot of fanning out. So just be ready to take whatever lines you have to, and we'll search around and kind of go through everything here. A little loose on cold tires. So we'll warm up with a top of 1 and 2. Just gonna breathe out of it, make sure it's settled. You really can almost full throttle that. In fact, you probably can't full throttle that. Turn off the display notifications. Good thing the straightaways are long. Then 3 and 4, I really like the bottom better here. We're a few tenths off of a call lap, which is alright. Now we're going to go low here. I have a feeling I think 1 and 2 will transition to the top. But yeah, it looks like for the beginning, it does feel like the bottom is better. Like I'm not even really making the time back on it. But again, you'll be carrying more speed in the actual race because of the draft. So unless you're the leader I would recommend go low. If you're trying to make up some spots and you see you have a huge run, you might want to carry it to the outside. 41.2 here. Not bad. I'm not sure if we'll need to use the brake this run at all, but we'll figure that out too. I'll run 20 laps or so here. I'll show you how bad the outside is in 3 and 4 right now. It just slides up mid-corner more than I want it to. And the run that we get off the corner, it's decent. Well, it's actually a little better than I thought. I think when all is said and done, I'll still be a couple hundredths off. Looks like half a tenth we're giving up. So really, this is about as multi-groove as you can possibly get. I think the tire wear to me feels pretty evenly balanced. And the truck at these longer tracks, a lot of the times it wears off the right rear before the right front, even if it's driving in a kind of neutral manner. So you want to make sure when you're driving off the corner, you don't want the right rear to hang out too much.
41.191.
Doing well. And you can literally run any line you want in California. That's one of the best parts about it. So I'm just gonna run a middle line like this. And we'll see. It only loses a tenth. Like, it's obviously not very good. But let's say you're trying to make a move on somebody who you're faster than, then that could be an option. But in terms of pure speed, I definitely recommend the bottom to start out with, and then I think as we go along, we'll see the top become a little better. I'm gonna wait for some more fall off though. I'll start thinking about it when we're in like the 41, 6s, 7s around there. When you're in dirty air in the truck, it's very important that you back up your throttle just a little bit more than usual. Make sure that you get to that white line at all costs. I'm sliding a little early here. That was a bit of a ride. I apexed too early. But dirty air makes these cars tight. So if somebody puts dirty air onto your nose anywhere in the corner, just expect it to get tight. And that way it doesn't surprise you. We're going to widen out this 3 and 4 a little more here. Definitely feel the right rear taking some abuse there. Just keeping it from spinning out.
41.529.
I think in 2 or 3 laps I'm going to try the top again, see if there's time to be had and if it feels better on the tire. At these type of tracks, where the right rear is wanting to wear excessively on the bottom, that makes the top more viable, because in general, driving a wall-ripping line is actually going to usually hurt your right front. So if we can find a good balance to that, I know in ARCA, I did top of 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. And every time I assume things that work in ARCA work in trucks, that usually is incorrect. So you know what? We're in the 6/8s. Let's try top. Let's try a line up top. See if I can get close to full throttling it up here. A little tight at the bail. A little tighter than I expected it to be. We'll give it another chance with these next 3 corners. It's not particularly faster yet, it looks like. We'll see one full lap, see if I can get back into the 6s or 7s. I'm getting very tight here. You know what? I tried the top last time. Let's try the bottom this time. Okay, it's coming back quickly. It looks even.
41.75.
Okay, if it's more or less even, I'm gonna go to the Arca line. Wall warp at 1 and 2. Bottom of 3 and 4. Put out early. Get to the bottom. Wait on it a little extra. And then try to drive it off the right rear. And then hopefully what we're doing here is we're balancing right front wear in 1 and 2 with right rear wear in 3 and 4. I'm gonna try bottom of 1 and 2 next lap, just to check how it is. We'll do an all bottom lap and then an all top lap.
038.
Oh yeah, no. It's just not happening, huh? I mean, only 10th isn't the worst in the world. Okay, now we're gonna do an all top lap here.
42.219.
Looks like half a 10. Oh wait, I said all top, crap. It's okay, we'll do an all top lap this time.
42.218.
The thing about doing the top two is that it's a very good defensive line, very hard for people to pass you. We're going to go for some slide jobs, and the slide jobs are just not going to work out extremely well because you have such a long straightaway to make a crossover. Okay, let's see how this 3 and 4 works on the top right now. About even.
42.3.
I think I like the bottom of 3 and 4 slightly. I'm going to try something here. We're going to do this line where we go up really close to the wall and get the throttle really early. That's better on the tires, I think. And it's probably decent speed. So, the best way to save tires when running the top is to be right by the wall, let off a really early, and hit it. No. Alright, we should be okay. I'm gonna just regroup here. It's very difficult, that's why I don't do it much. But if you can get in the groove, then it's really nice. That should be little to no damage because of how light we were on it. But
44.7.
we'll regroup our momentum here. So what I'm talking about is letting out really early, right by the wall, and then just getting on the gas really early. off really early. I want to be even closer than that. But that's alright. We're going to get back to a normal lap here.
42.949.
Okay. Right by the wall, let off really early. Let's drive right up here. Yeah. Up here, let off really early. 3 and 4, I'm not as confident in it as I am in 1 and 2.
42.605.
Here we go, up right by the wall. Before the white stripe comes, we let off really early. And this is the way you run the wall. And don't look at the wall, look at the seam on your left. Very good. So if you're looking at the wall, you're more likely to hit it. So look at the seam instead to place yourself. I can't position myself as good in 3 and 4, unfortunately. I still don't think wall ripping in 3 and 4 is the best. I'll try bottom this lap.
42.483.
I dove it in a little deeper than I wanted to there, and it still worked out. We're going to dive it here, see what happens. Ooh, wait, it's coming back. But again, it's even.
42.4.
Yeah, it's actually even. So I think if I'm by myself, I'm going to run the bottom of 3 and 4. If I need to defend, I'll run the top of 3 and 4. Almost hit the wall there. I forgot my own line. We'll go to 25 here since I messed up a couple laps. So have that high line in your back pocket for 3 and 4 for defending. But I think by yourself, all things considered, I think bottom's the best. It just wears your tires in a different way that gets the car to wear more evenly.
42.657.
Okay, before the white line comes, let go, get back in early, don't like hit the wall. Yeah. That's how you rip the wall. I wasn't really ripping the wall earlier, but the older the tires get, the better that wall ripping actually is. Go. Back in early. Make sure we don't slide up at all. And then we just drive. Minute 2 to go.
42.604.
Ah, damn it. Okay, we'll call it there. That was doing really well too. Just a little bit slip, a little bit too much for my own good, but that line was very nice. All right. 7883. Not the most even wear ever, but I think that starting the high-low, the Arca line, might even that out a little bit. Running the bottom for the very beginning, for as long as you can, should be good. But I really recommend this line right here. And I'll point it out once again real quick here. So I want to be full out of the throttle before the white line on the wall comes. And then I get right back in and then just look at the seam. Watch your car via the seam. Don't need to watch the wall. Just keep your lefts on that seam. And you don't need to worry about the wall one bit. Okay, that's how you rip the wall. And you notice that I was full throttle almost the entire corner. I just had to let out at the beginning. I just dumped the throttle bit right there. Got right back in and just full throttle once I could make the seam. And that's all there is to that. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And let me know if you found anything else with this, because I really like multi-groove tracks like this. All right, hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope to see you all on the track.